It is January the 4th, 2024, and I hope everybody's been having a great weekend so far. It is, I don't know, it's about 5:30. It's getting close, so I don't have much time until it gets dark. My family and I went and did some stuff today, and we're just getting back home. But I was thinking about it on the way home today, what I wanted to discuss, and I thought it'd be a good time, especially for the people that are here on the channel who are just now getting sober, to discuss withdrawal and the withdrawal timeline, and how long that lasts and what to kind of look for. The withdrawal really starts to kick in, anywhere from like 6 to 12 hours to 24 hours. It just really just depends on the amount that you drank, the frequency that you drank. There's just a lot of factors involved in it. But usually the withdrawals will start to set in within 6 to 12 hours and from your last drink. And then 24 hours into it is when, the withdrawals can really start to kick in. And that's when you can start to have hallucinations as well. It's about 24 hours after your last drink. But going into the 24 hours and then going into 48 to 72 hours, that's about the timeline for the physical withdrawals of alcohol. So getting into about day 3, day 4, you should really be at the peak of your physical withdrawal, and then it should start to decline from that point forward. So if you quit, your day 1 was January the 1st and it's the 4th right now, you really should be towards the tail end of the physical withdrawals of it, which can be, pretty terrible to go through. And, if you guys have been experiencing any withdrawals, I just figured I'd just talk about, some withdrawal symptoms really quick. And it can range anywhere from having a headache, dizziness, stomach ache, nausea, shaking and tremors, difficulty sleeping, vomiting, just a feeling of like, restlessness, like you just can't get comfortable. And there's a couple of more of them, but for the most part, I think that's really heart palpitations is another one that you can have. And I always got really bad heart palpitations anytime that I would go through withdrawal, really, really bad, and it would usually kick in. The heart palpitations usually happened, rather quickly after my last drink. I used to get the heart palpitations in the middle of the night. So, if I had my last drink at like 10 o'clock that night or something, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, I would start getting heart palpitations, and my heart would start racing. I would start getting the palpitations, and I would start getting really, really, really shaky. I was shaky every single morning when I wake up. I was going through physical withdrawal every morning, and that's why I would, first thing I would do is go ahead and make a drink to try to shake those withdrawal symptoms, because my hands would be shaking so bad that, I couldn't even hold a pencil in my hand, or I could barely even hold like a cup in my hand. I used to, when I would make the hair of the dog in the morning, I would have to double hand my drink because I would be shaking so bad. I would have to hold it with both of my hands to get it to my mouth, and a lot of times I would end up spilling it all over myself because I would be shaking so bad. But once again, if you quit on, your day 1 was January the 1st, you should be towards the tail end of the physical withdrawal. Now, the mental aspect of it, that can go on for quite some time. And the physical withdrawal still can last anywhere up from, for a week to 2 weeks after your last drink. Like I said, it really just depends on how much you drank, what were you drinking, your gender. I mean, like I said, there's just a lot of factors involved in it, and your genetics. It really just depends. But like I said, 72 hours to a week to 2 weeks is about the max of what you're going to be dealing with the physical withdrawal, and then it goes into the mental withdrawal period of it. You don't know what to do with yourself, especially if you've had something really hard come about. You've got some kind of challenging life situation that's popped up, and you're in the middle of trying to quit drinking or using whatever the substance is, or quit whatever your vice is. When those difficult situations arise, that's when we tend to want to lean on whatever it is that we've been abusing. Because we've been doing it for so long. We use our vice as an emotional crutch. I know for myself, and for a lot of people here, we didn't like to deal with our emotions. So we numb ourselves with either drugs, alcohol, or, whatever the activity is that, we find pleasing, that takes our mind off of the emotions that we might be feeling. And I know that I did that my whole entire life. I ran away from my emotions. I never wanted to face them head on. I was afraid of dealing with them. I just didn't want to have to deal with what I had inside of my brain. There was just so much going on in there. And, the thing about it is that I waited for so long to start dealing with those issues. It's been taking me years to process all that stuff, because I just put it in the back of my head for years, for decades. And, once I got sober, I started trying to work through some of those issues. And, I'm still dealing with stuff. I'm still trying to work through stuff. I'm still trying to learn how to deal with my emotions. Especially, like I said the other day, is anger. When I get angry, that's a hard emotion for me to process. And I used to always drink whenever I got angry, which was not a good idea, because I was just pouring fuel on the fire. I get angry and then start drinking, and then I would just sit there and stew on it and get even angrier. And it just didn't make any sense. But that's just how I dealt with things. And, like I said, once I got sober, dealing with those emotions was a little bit difficult. But like I said the other day, I've got things that I do. If I get upset, I'll just walk outside and go for a walk. Or I'll hop in my car and just go for a ride, or whatever I do. I always remove myself from whatever the situation is that's got me upset, and give myself time to process it, think about why I'm upset, and is there anything that I can do to fix the situation? And if there isn't, well, I have to find some way or another to handle whatever it is. And, there might not always be a solution, but I might just have to just suck it up and deal with it. Which is the case a lot of times. I just have to suck it up and say, okay, is it worth getting this upset over? And, most of the time it's not. So I just have to go, okay, it's time to go cool off and give yourself some time. Just the other night, I was really irritated. I don't want to get into what was going on. It's personal, but I was irritated, and my wife had gotten home from work, and I was just in a funky mood. I just was in a bad headspace, and my wife tried talking to me about it, and I just wasn't in the mood to talk at that moment. And I just told her, I said, look, I think I'm going to go just sit downstairs tonight and watch TV. And I ended up sitting downstairs. I ended up falling asleep downstairs while I was down there. But the thing about it is that when I woke up the next morning, I didn't get into an argument with my wife, and everything was fine. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even remember what had got me upset the night before the next morning. I had no recollection of what had gotten me angry. I remembered later on in the day, but when I woke up that morning, I couldn't even remember what I'd even gotten upset about. And, like I said, I just fell asleep down there watching TV. I woke up the next morning, and when I got up the next morning, everything was fine. And it was a good thing that I did, because I was in a pretty bad mood. And I'm glad that I just removed myself from that and went downstairs and didn't get into any kind of argument with my wife. I didn't get an attitude with her or anything. I just decided it's probably best if I went ahead and go down there. And I do that all the time now. Anytime that something upsets me, I just, if I can remove myself from the situation, I will. And there's sometimes I just can't. And I just have to breathe and really think about what's got me upset, and just kind of center myself and, think to myself, okay, you need to calm down. It's not that big of a deal. And it's not like I get upset about things that often, but when it does occur, I mean, we all get upset. We're human beings. But when I do, I try my best just to calm down. And, if it's something I need to talk about later on, then I'll try to discuss it after I've calmed down. I'm getting off topic here right now, though, but, back to the withdrawal stuff. Like I said, if day one was January the 1st, you should be towards the tail end of it. It does depend, and if you're still dealing with withdrawal symptoms, after about a week of this, it might be time to go speak to a doctor, see what they say. There might be something they might want to put you on. There might be some kind of medication they might want to start you on. I mean, it just really just depends. But, if it's, a week and you're still shaking really bad or dealing with delirium tremens or, you're seeing hallucinations, like itchy, burning skin, you feel like ants are crawling all over you or something like that, it's probably time to go speak to a doctor. But, if you've gotten this far and, things aren't too bad, you're probably towards the tail end of it. And then it's just, like I said, it's dealing with the mental part of it. And, at that point, it's just a mind over matter. And you have to keep telling yourself every single day, I don't want to do this anymore, no matter what it is. Either it's alcohol, drugs, gambling, whatever. If it's affecting your life in a negative way and you can't stop doing it and you've tried, that's an addiction, and it's something that you've tried over and over again to quit doing, and you just can't seem to stop. Like I said, that can be, it takes all kinds of forms of things, but, if you've gotten this far, you're doing great, and I'm really proud of you guys. There have been so many people in the comments who have been letting me know, that they got sober here recently. People that, 30 days, 3 months, 6 months. I mean, you guys are all doing so great. Keep up the great work. I'm so proud of you guys. It is like the most awesome thing to see so many people in the comments telling me that they're getting sober. There's so many lives that are being changed. There's so many lives that are indirectly being changed at the same time, with that said as well. Let's say Bill over here, he's decided he's been drinking for the past 2 decades, and it's gotten to the point where, he's drinking a 750 of liquor every single day, or more, and has decided that's time to make a change. And Bill has a family. Bill has 3 kids, or 2 kids and a wife, and a mom and a dad, and a sister and a brother and cousins and a grandmother and a grandfather, and just a whole family. Not only is it going to affect Bill because he has gotten sober, but all those lives are going to be indirectly affected in a positive way because Bill has decided to get sober. The kids aren't going to have to see Bill drunk anymore. Those kids aren't going to be afraid of Bill when Bill shows up late at night and is in a bad mood and is intoxicated. Bill's wife isn't going to have to deal with that any longer. Bill's wife is not going to stay up all night long worrying about her husband anymore, about how he's affecting his health, how he might affect his job, how this might affect their family financially because Bill can't stop drinking. Bill's wife's up late at night worrying about the children seeing Bill drunk. And, is Bill gonna scream at them because he's drunk and, is intoxicated and it just isn't himself? There's just so many things that everybody's, Bill's parents aren't going to have to worry about him any longer getting a car behind the wheel and driving drunk and getting a phone call in the middle of the night that their son's been in a car accident. Bill's cousins aren't going to have to worry about their cousin ending up in a car accident because they're drunk driving or whatever. There's just so many lives that are going to be indirectly affected in a positive way because each and every single one of you has decided to get sober. And, the thing is that, if you're like me and you went decades drinking, especially the way that I did, we push a lot of people away. I know I did. I lost a lot of friends. People that'll never speak to me again because of things that I did when I was intoxicated. I used to say really mean stuff to people sometimes. And I was just drunk, being drunk me. And like I've said so many times on here before, is that I tried to impress people. I thought that people enjoyed being around that, a jerk like I was. And, I thought people thought it was funny when, I would say mean things to people and catch them off guard. And it wasn't funny. And I hurt a lot of people's feelings, and a lot of people left. And, at the end of it all, after I decided to get sober, I didn't have a whole lot of friends that, were going to be indirectly affected in a positive way, because I pretty much ran all of them off because of who I was when I drank. But I still had some friends around, and, my family are all still here. But I know that, like, my mom and my dad and my brother, and all of my extended family, I know that it just gives them ease of mind not having to worry about me all the time. And not only just that, but my wife's family, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they don't have to worry about that anymore. Because I'm sure that, that my mother-in-law and father-in-law worried a lot because I got drunk so much. And they probably, were wondering, what was going on in the four walls here that they weren't seeing whenever they weren't around. It's just stuff like that, like I said, that we just don't even think about how there's that ripple effect, and it just changes lives, all because we decided to make a decision to get sober. And it's the best decision that we can ever make for ourselves, because, if we continue to drink, if we continue to use, if we continue to do those activities that we know are affecting us in a negative way, it never ends well. It just doesn't. That there's that saying that, there's only 3 places that you're going to end up, and that's either prison, the hospital, or in a grave. And, that's just the reality of it. Unfortunately, that it is what it is. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it and, make it look like it's something that it's not, because that's exactly how things turn out. And for each and every single one of you that have made that decision to get sober and are turning your life around right now, good for you. And, hopefully each and every single one of you that have decided to get sober, hopefully you've stopped early enough that you're not going to have to suffer any negative consequences health-wise because of your consumption. I really hope, and I've been praying for each and every single one of you, that you don't have to deal with that. I started this channel in hopes that I could help people that are sick, dealing with any of this alcohol-related illness stuff. I wanted to give people a place to go, a place where they don't feel so alone. They know that there's other people out there dealing with the same things that they are. Because when, if you end up with cirrhosis or, pancreatitis or something like that, there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of time that you're going to be laying in a bed. There's a lot of time that you're going to be laying in a hospital bed in the hospital. There's just a lot of recovery time laying in a hospital bed or a bed or just laying around in general. And I wanted to give people a place to go look and like I said, not feel so alone. Because when I initially got out of the hospital the second time, when they sent me home and told me I had a year left to live, I spent like over 3 months bedridden. I couldn't walk without a walker. It was a horrible time. I had ascites. I looked like I was 10 months pregnant, and I was nothing but skin and bones. I lost every single bit of muscle mass that I had in my body. My chest was sunken in. My arms were pencils. My legs were pencils. You could see every single bone in my body. Every single bone in my face, every single blood vessel, basically. I just looked hard. I looked like a walking skeleton with this humongous belly. And not only did I look ridiculous and like, you know, I looked very, very ill. Not only did I look like that, but I felt horrible all the time. I was so tired. Just walking like out of the doctor's office to the car with the walker took so much out of me. My wife used to have to pull up to the front of the doctor's office. She'd have to go out and get the car and pull up to the front of the doctor's office, and then walk in there and help me get to the car. And, you know, when you've been the type of person that's been running around your whole entire life and doing all these crazy activities outdoors, kayaking and hiking and all this kind of stuff, and the next thing you know, you can't even walk from the doctor's office to the vehicle. You know, we're talking about like 25, 30 feet. It's a really difficult thing to process, and it was really tough on me. But at the end of the day, I caused it to myself, and I had nobody else to blame but me. And that was a lot to process there as well. You know, that was a really, really tough time for me. I can't tell you guys how depressed I was, how down that I was every single day. I just laid in the bed and cried all day long. My wife would come in there and try to speak to me, and I would just burst out into tears. My wife's never really seen me cry that much. But during that period of time, she saw me cry like every single day. And I used to apologize to her. I would say, "I'm so sorry," as the tears were just pouring down my face. And she would tell me, you know, "What are you apologizing for? It's okay. You've got a lot going on. You know, it's okay to cry." And, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, I just never thought it was okay to do so. I didn't think it was okay to show my emotions, you know. I thought that, you know, being a man, you know, you had to be stern-faced and, you know, if you did feel anything, you kept it all bottled up inside. You didn't talk about your feelings or emotions, and you just went through life and just sucked it up, because that's our role as men. You know, we support our family, we take care of our wife and our kids, we go to work every single day, and we don't complain. And that's so far from the truth. You know, just because we're men doesn't mean that we can't share how we feel. We have emotions just like everybody else does, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry right now. If anything, let it out. Let those tears just flow. This is a difficult time that you're going through right now, especially if you just quit drinking. You know, you're fresh into this. I remember every single time that I would try to quit drinking, and I'll bring my wife on here to talk about it. You know, every single time that I would go through it, I mean, I was on the bathroom floor, you know, just, it was so uncomfortable. And I would cry every time that I would try to quit as I went through withdrawal. And that's basically the only time my wife ever really saw me like that. And then after that, after I got sick and then I stopped, you know, I had so many emotions going on inside of me. Especially, you know, the ascites bothered me really bad. It made my back hurt so bad because I was carrying around so much weight in my stomach. And it really gave me an appreciation for women, you know, carrying a baby around. I mean, I don't know what that's like, but I mean, I kind of a little bit do, because the only reason why, and I'm not trying to say that I have any, please don't take what I'm saying the wrong way, because I'm not saying that I understand what it's like to carry a child and go through all that for 9 months, because I don't. All I'm saying is I understand when women say that their back hurts because they've got, you know, so much weight pulling on their back and their stomach area, because I had so much fluid in my belly. I mean, my belly poked way out. I mean, I'm talking about probably 1.5 feet or something like that. I mean, I wear all my clothes are smalls. I wear small. But during that period of time, I had to wear like triple XL shirts because my belly was so big. I looked so bad. I've got these little teeny arms, these big sleeves on these shirts. You know, I look like a little kid that was wearing their dad's clothes. I mean, that's what I look like. And, you know, and then right in my midsection, I've got this humongous belly. I was so embarrassed to go anywhere. And I haven't talked about this in quite some time, but I also have 2 hernias that developed because of that ascites. And you can't really tell now. Well, you can't tell at all now, but they're still there. And when the ascites happens, it pushes out, and it literally looks like like my 2 fingers here poking out of my belly. I'll show you guys. Like, it looks like that coming out of my stomach. And I've got 2 of those. I was so embarrassed to walk around anywhere because I've had this huge hernia poking out of my shirt and this humongous belly. I was so embarrassed to go anywhere. And when I did go anywhere, it was such a chore just to go. And I remember like just going to Dollar General on a Sunday with my wife and my kids. It was like the first time I'd ever gone anywhere since I'd gotten like really, really, really sick. And that was a big deal just going there. And we were only there for like maybe 20 minutes, but it was a huge deal to me just to get out of the house and go to a store again, because I'd been trapped in my house for so long. But anyway, guys, I've gotten so far off a topic. The point of today's video is that for any of you guys out there whose day one was January the 1st, you should be getting really close to pretty much being over the physical withdrawals. And like I said, you're going to be dealing with just the mental aspect of it at this point. And like I said, it's mind over matter. Just take it one day at a time. Don't think too far into the future. Don't start thinking about, I'm never going to be able to drink again, because that's going to give you anxiety. Just take it as, I'm not going to drink today. And I'm sure that's what all of you guys are doing right now anyway. We live our life one day at a time. So why not take our sobriety one day at a time? Because, I mean, that's all we have at the moment. We have right now, the moment that we're in. And, you know, we have a choice every single day. Are we going to drink? Are we going to use? Are we going to do whatever that thing is? Or are we going to not do it? Are we going to stay sober? Are we going to refrain from doing whatever that activity is or using? And that's the choice that we have every single day when we wake up in the morning. And right now, with it being wintertime, this is the easiest time to stop. I mean, I'm just being honest with you guys. For me, it is, at least in my opinion, because the days are so short. There's only but so much daylight. And when it gets dark, I mean, the day's pretty much over at that point, you know. You get home from work, you eat some dinner, and sit down and watch something on Netflix or something, and the day's done. And the best part about all this is guys, is that how much better your sleep improves after you've gotten sober, and the way that you're going to start feeling after a couple of weeks, after you start getting your sleep pattern back in order. You're waking up every day feeling refreshed. You've got so much energy. You feel like you can bounce off the walls. It's just so much positive stuff comes along with getting sober. And like I said, guys, I am so proud of each and every single one of you out there. And thank you so much for letting me know in the comments, you know, how far along each and every single one of you are coming along. And please keep letting me know. I want to know. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear that you just hit 30 days or 40 days or 50 days or 1 year or 6 months or whatever it is. Let me know. It really does make my day when I hear from you guys and y'all telling me that you've got any kind of sobriety at all. And like I said, guys, I think that's about it for today. I'll be back tomorrow, and I hope that each and every single one of you have a great rest of your Saturday night. And until tomorrow, I will see y'all then. I love you guys so much.